Good morning and welcome back to the Going On Daily Live Morning Show. Yay!
Woohoo!
We are back with the Saturday Dream Team of myself. I am Ira, and I am so happy to have my partner back, Ms. Lana Williams.
Happy
I missed
Saturday.
you.
How are you? Thank
I'm
you.
fine.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm just noticing Ron's little thing. This is episode 178.
That's crazy.
It
yeah.
is. It's amazing how these things sneak up on you. But if
September
you
is
want to go
sneaking
back,
up on us, man.
I can't believe it's September, so
I know.
everything's sneaking up on us.
Yes.
It's fall already. Jeez. But I know we have a special report ready, so we're going to go right on the socials. Check us out. You can see this episode and all 177 past episodes by doing this. Okay, you can watch us live on YouTube, Rumble, or Kick, and those are at Rhode Island Broadcasting. Also on Twitch at RI_broadcasting. If you just want to listen to what we have to say, no video, just audio, you can go to Spotify, Red Circle, TuneIn, or iHeartRadio, and that's at RI Broadcasting. You're sensing a trend there, aren't you, with Rhode Island Broadcasting? Follow us on our socials. We have TikTok, MeWe, Blue Sky, Parler, LinkedIn, and those are at Rhode Island Broadcasting. And by the way, if you've just heard of some of those for the first time, go join them, check them out. It's easier to pass us around, and you might make some new friends. Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, we're at Broadcasting RI. We have a Facebook page, but that's just for this show, and that's at Going On Daily Morning Show. Of course, we want you to subscribe to our Patreon, because that's where you can get all the cool merch, and that's at Patreon at RI Broadcasting. And if that's not enough, all this information can be found on our website, which is RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net. Make sure you get that, .net. Okay, it is Saturday, September 6th. Here's what we want you to know, and the first thing we want you to know is our co-host, Kenny Schofeld, is at, well, a special celebration. We're going to bring him in right now. Kenny, there it is.
Hey.
Hey, Kenny, long time no see,
I'm
buddy.
here at the long time no see, buddy. I'm here at the 50th anniversary of Jaws. The Orca is in back of me. They're celebrating downtown here in New London, Connecticut. It is fantastic. They got vendors out here.
Awesome.
They got the boat out here. I don't know if you can see the boat. I don't know if you can see the boat in back of me,
Yeah.
but that is the Orca. The Orca. I just spoke to Robert Shaw, who was the captain, Captain Quint. He's over there. He's signing autographs. It's just a fantastic time this morning in New London, Connecticut. This is great.
Are they doing a showing by any chance down there of the movie?
Yes, they are at the local Guard Theater. They're doing a showing of Jaws 1, 2, and 3, I believe, for $2. It's fantastic. I might go down there and rewatch it on the big screen. But yeah, this is 50 years. I can't believe it. 50 years. I'm an old guy.
We're all old, man. I can't believe it either.
That's just it. But because we're old, we know the impact of that movie. That was the first summer blockbuster. That's really what brought us Steven Spielberg. It's an iconic film. I mean, what you already said, Robert Shaw is there. Is there anybody else from the cast there?
I think it's Jeremy Borges, the first one who got eaten. Sark. He's over there signing autographs.
Was it Kettner? Yeah, Voorhees.
I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Isn't that also the serial killer in Friday the 13th? Is it Jason?
No, that's Jason. This is Alex or something. No. What was it? What was it again? Jeremy?
Alex something. Yes. Alex. Yeah. Jeremy.
Okay.
Can't pronounce his last name. Yeah. Yeah, I was returning
Yeah.
somebody who over there. Sign autographs.
So was that? I know we talked about this earlier. Where is the exact town where it was filmed? Was it filmed there?
Martha's Vineyard.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Or was it Martha's?
Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
Yep, it's Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, so
but
what's the
they're going
significance
coast to coast.
of celebrating where you are?
They're just going coast to coast. They're going all around to celebrate 50 years of Jaws. So they came into New London, and we got vendors all around. They got food. They got the boat. They got autograph sessions. You name it, they have it.
Oh my God! What are they selling? What are the vendors selling? All shark related stuff.
Oh man, yeah, there's shark stuff. There's pirate stuff. There's peanuts. There's popcorn. You name it, they got it out there.
Is it a nice crowd out there today?
Long line. Oh, it's a nice crowd. Let me see if you can see the crowd. Crowd behind me.
I bet.
Yeah, they're waiting for the.
Wow, look at that.
They're waiting
It's a
for the
nice
boats
day
to get in
today,
to see it up close. Yeah, it's a very nice day today. Very nice.
Are you allowed on the Orca?
No, you're not allowed on the Orca. But as soon as they come in, you can go further in. You can take pictures, but you're not allowed on it.
Ah. Have you taken your picture
Yeah,
with
I
it?
wish. Not yet. Not yet, but I will. They haven't opened the gate yet.
Oh, that's good. I know, Lena, we have discussed this before, and you're a fan of the movie. I'm a fan of the movie. Is there any questions that you would have Kenny ask from someone down there? Maybe we can get an insider view.
I don't think I think I just watched the documentary, which was like huge, and so I don't even think I could think of anything because they covered everything just recently. But I don't know. I think maybe I would just want to know like how the tour's going and how the fans are. You know, how the turnout has been, what cities they've already been to, that kind of thing.
Oh, Kenny, I wish we could join you down there because it sounds like a wonderful time.
I know.
Again, tell everybody where it is.
It's at New London, Connecticut. Downtown New London, Connecticut,
And
right
how
off
long-
State Pier.
And that's where the
How
ferry
long are
is.
they going to
today.
be there?
Yes, yep. It is
All right,
today and
that's
tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Nice.
Beautiful. So if you are a fan, and who isn't, go
Oh,
on
wow.
out. See Kenny, by the way. Ask Kenny for an autograph. I mean, he's our superstar.
I mean, he is a celebrity. He's a celebrity. He's the Robert Shaw of this show.
That's right. So thank you so much, Kenny, for reporting in. I appreciate it. Haven't seen you in a while, so it's nice to see you
Yeah,
as
it
well.
is.
I'm glad
Nice
to
to
see you're
talk to
having
you.
fun.
Nice to see you both.
Thank you for your report.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, they
Have a
both
good
sing.
day.
Oh boy.
Take care.
Good one. Have fun, Kenny.
That was awesome. I actually wish I were there. That sounds like a really good time.
And I think
But,
they somebody told me that they had come through. I thought they had come through Boston, and I can't remember when this whole thing started. Even Ron, I think he was at one of them, or he went to something. I think Ron maybe went to the movie. That's what it was.
Well,
But
Ron
I thought
will
that
let us
they
know.
had come through Boston, or if they hadn't, they were going to. They're obviously going to go back to, I would think, Martha's Vineyard and all that. But I'm not sure. Not sure. Don't quote me on that.
It's weird that I have a little tie-in here. Obviously, if you've watched the news at all, we've seen that lottery fever has taken hold of us again, and the giant jackpot is up to $1.8 billion.
Oh, wow.
Now, we were having a conversation with a group of friends, and somebody said, "What would you buy something ridiculous?" And they actually brought up to me, and I had no idea Kenny was doing this. They said, I don't know, like one of the robot sharks from Jaws. Would you buy that? And it's funny how we're tying this in. So now I have a question, Lena.
Yes.
If you were won this ridiculous amount of money, what one movie prop that you would go, you know what? I have money. I'm going to buy that.
I've seen it and I want it. The fake head from The Exorcist. I would have to have that.
Oh my God, the one that
Linda Blair.
spins
Linda
around.
Blair's likeness Yes, it was like I saw it in Florida in a museum, or I saw it in Universal, and it was so cool. So yeah, that might be one of the things I would want. Isn't that crazy?
Ooh.
But it
No,
was so cool.
I think people want what they want. I think I would want, and I'm not a huge fan of the movie, although I like the movie.
Okay.
I like the Star Wars universe, but
Okay.
I think having the Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader lightsaber.
Yeah, didn't that
would
just
be
sell?
just-
Oh, did I just? Yeah, that just sold.
That's got to be millions, probably.
No, I swear there was just a story yesterday that the original lightsaber I thought sold. I could be wrong. but
Really?
I swear, look it up. I swear, I just saw that yesterday or the day
Ron, if you
before.
have a minute, let me know.
Yeah. And I was
Oh,
like,
well,
wow,
that
it was
means
like
I'm gonna have to
$3
outbid-
something million, but I can't remember the whole story. I
Oh.
just saw it really quick. And
Well, that's nothing
crazy.
if I win the 1.8 billion. I mean,
Right.
come on, drop in the bucket.
So you could just you could find that person. Now you know who it was that like won it and owns it. So now you can like literally look them up and say, hey, I'll give you
If you're listening to the show,
3.65 million. There it is. Yep.
How much?
3.65 million. Ron would just filled me in on that. It's Darth Vader's. Yeah.
Darth Vader's. Okay,
Yeah.
so
It's not strange. I don't know why I just coincidentally saw that yesterday or whatever. But
if the person is listening who bought that by any chance, and I do win, I'll give you $5 million. You get your money back. I'll come to you. Okay.
if you win the money,
If I win.
don't promise that unless you have
Yes.
it now.
If I win, or if Ron wants to give me a raise, a really big raise.
There you go. That'll do it.
Okay.
That'll do it. That's so funny.
Starting off, well, we already heard from Kenny. Lena, I believe you have the first story.
I do. So it was the let me just I have all of this stuff put together, but the 27th, which was last week, was the 20th anniversary of Katrina, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And so there've been some things that have come out. Now I've been following this since the beginning, and not only Spike Lee, although Spike Lee does own Katrina in such a way that he's got probably 3 documentaries at this point out.
3? Jeez.
He did one. It's called Requiem. 4 acts Requiem, something like that. He did that something like a year or 2 after Katrina, and it's a 4-hour deal. I mean, at the time, it was a series on HBO, and HBO I think holds on to most of his stuff.
I believe.
And then I feel like at the anniversary was either the 10th that they did this, which was in 2015. I think he did a second one, and it was called Come Hell or High Water at the time. And this was also something that came out on HBO, and they had gone through, okay, where are we from here? The Exxon Valdez had happened, or no, I think. No, I'm sorry. Something had happened with the Gulf. Was that around that time? And so not only were they dealing with Katrina and all that, but they were actually dealing with this oil spill, this huge amount of oil, and how much it was devastating landscapes and things like that. So they got into that a little bit on top of what had happened with Katrina, because it was kind of a big story at the time. So on Netflix last Wednesday, Spike Lee dropped a documentary for the 20th, and it's the same title, Come Hell or High Water, or Come Hell and High Water, I believe.
Right.
And it's like a revised version of what he had done in 2015. So some of it's the same, but what he did was he went back and he interviewed everybody that was involved at the time, and like, what do we know now, like 20 years later, like what happened? How did the hurricane come through? Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Valdez, but whatever, the Gulf, there was a Gulf oil spill that had happened.
Yeah, I was trying to find something, but I didn't have the right year.
Of course, totally forgot that was the one thing that I should probably have had in my notes. Anyway, so here we go. Hurricane Katrina. It was between August 23rd and 31st but mainly the 27th is where it started to get nasty. Category 3 hurricane, 125 to 200 miles per hour, when it struck Louisiana and Mississippi. Areas affected were the Bahamas, South Florida, Louisiana, especially New Orleans, Mississippi, and Alabama. Deaths were 1,800. Most of those were in Louisiana and Mississippi. Over 1 million people were forced out of their homes, the largest displacement since the Dust Bowl. Now that's huge.
Damn.
Tens of thousands initially reported missing, and many were later located. A very small amount, I don't think, ever were found.
Yep.
Homes destroyed, damaged. 800,000 homes were damaged or destroyed. 80% of the city was underwater due to levee failures. Power outages. 3 million people lost electricity. 161 billion in damages. Largest natural disaster in U.S. history. Federal aid over 110 billion was allocated for relief, recovery, rebuilding. And evacuations in response, 1.2 million people were evacuated from the Gulf Coast before and after landfall. The Superdome in New Orleans sheltered 26,000 people in difficult conditions at that time.
I remember that.
And I believe the convention center was also involved. Now, some people were actually evacuated to Houston, where they dealt with the flood in Houston. And I remember being horrified by, like, can you imagine rebuilding your life in a different town or a different city, a completely different place in the country, and having nothing? You know, and then all of that weird viaduct stuff that was going on in Houston, where they had a huge storm. I believe it was either flash flooding or whatever it was. It might have been a hurricane.
It was.
And those people were once again displaced. That was crazy. Anyway, in 2007, today's a show about 2007 for me. In 2007, Brad Pitt had founded an organization called the Make It Right Foundation. And I remember at the time, it was a huge thing. I mean, obviously there were celebrities that were trying to get in and get on that. And I know that he and Angelina Jolie at one point lived in the French Quarter, or they had a home there. I'm not sure if they lived there full time, but they had property there. So he was planning to build 109, or actually 150. Sorry, I think it was 150 eco-friendly, affordable homes in New Orleans to build up the lower Ninth Ward. Now, the lower Ninth Ward, I think, maybe now is finally in a state of somewhat of being together. It was a mess. It was very devastating. It literally was wiped out. And I remember 10 years later watching that documentary of Spike Lee, and it was like they were still trying to build it up. It was like it almost looked like it had just happened. It was really crazy down there. So the project was launched with major architects, 26.8 million in funding, and aimed to revitalize the community. Now, I believe there was some money that he put into it as well. When this documentary came out recently, this resurfaced, okay? And 10 years ago, I was a mixed company in Georgia. I was having a conversation with a bunch of people at a party somewhere or whatever. And we were all talking about the South and some of the hurricanes that had come through. And for whatever reason, we got on Katrina. And somebody mentioned that I said something like, oh, it's so cool that Brad Pitt's doing this thing, blah, blah, blah. And they said to me, yeah, well, you should, you know, that's not all what it seems to be. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they said they had done subcontracting on building these homes. And I don't know if they were involved in materials. They were just somebody that was a laborer. They had nothing to do with anything except that they were just trying to help. And that the materials were like subpar and all this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. And it's so funny because I thought they were just like, I thought, oh, I bet Brad Pitt, he's a nice guy. I'm like, oh, this person's talking to me. They're just name dropping. They probably have nothing to do with this. Because it was like nobody had heard anything about this. It was like completely, unless you were in New Orleans, like around New Orleans, you just didn't know about this. And so I started to see, they got into this in this documentary, that most homes quickly, seriously develop structural problems. Now, this is probably within, most of these homes within 10 years of being built had to be condemned, okay? It was like, oh my God, because the materials they came in with, I don't know what was going on with the architects that were hired, but somebody did really bad research on that area and what kind of materials this area needed. And so there's one guy by the name of Robert Green, and if you ever look him up, there's a whole story on he was he got involved in this foundation and was working with these people because these were people in his neighborhood. And so he got involved with Brad Pitt and some of these other architects and just sort of trying to get publicity and letting people know that they could come back and apply for homes and that kind of thing. And his home, there was a point in time where they found out that the floor is biodegradable, which was interesting. That was like one of the most interesting facts, that these floors are biodegradable in a hurricane area, which means if there's any water or flooding or damage, the floors disintegrate. They just disintegrate. And so one of these
Oh my
people
God.
put his foot through his bathroom floor at some point because the plumbing was real bad. Right. There's really black mold in these homes. There are people that are worried about being sick. Now they've all signed. The houses came in at, I think they were averaged at $150,000 a piece, and
Yeah, I believe
they were all
we have a
structurally
message. Yeah.
right. They were all structurally built so that they would withstand something like 10 feet of water. Like they all were raised up. They were all on stilts.
Right.
However, a lot of the wood that they sourced for this was not wood that was like treated or processed or in some way. Like, in other words, New Orleans weather is insane, and you have to have specific standards for building homes. So they built some flat roofs too, which was interesting. Like, I don't think there's very many homes anywhere that a flat roof makes any sense.
No, that's horrible.
Right.
The rain has to have a it's got to be.
And like no gutters or proper drainage and things like that. So these people are starting to there's a litany of lawsuits. Anyway, let me continue. Mold, termites, leaks, flooding, rotting wood, right? Due to poor design, construction, unsuited to New Orleans climate. Several houses were abandoned, demolished, or extensively renovated. Ready? Only 6 are in good condition at this point. They never built the whole 150. They stopped at 109, I believe. And only 6 of those are actually in any kind of condition to live in, right? Now, residents, they describe feeling like betrayed, unsafe, facing health issues, right? Toxic mold, financial strain from costly repairs. So there was I think even Dr. Phil did a show after Katrina that there were these subcontractors that came down. People came from all over the country to try to help these people rebuild. Some were very... some were very noble people. They had the tools, they had the skills, and they were like, you know what, I'm taking 2 weeks off my job. I'm just going to drive down there because these people are going through whatever.
I remember that, yeah.
Like a bunch of subcontractors dropped onto this area and basically just robbed people. They just did. They came in, they said, listen, if you give me this much money, we'll come back and do this work. This was like rampant, where people that had no homes were giving their savings to somebody that they thought was going to help them, that never came back and did a job. And this was going on, I don't know how long. So I remember Dr. Phil did a show on it. Maybe, I don't know, what was out at the time, Maury Povich, whatever these shows were that were at the time, were trying to get like some kind of, I think some people they got involved and they got law enforcement involved. They got some people tracked down and arrested or charged or whatever for that. Anyway, so... let me see, where am I? So they Make It Right largely withdrew their support. They stopped filing IRS paperwork. They shut down operations, and they became entangled in lawsuits. At some point, they went missing. They just took their office supplies and ran. They were supposed to be...
Oh, my God.
They were in a central area there that, like, you could go there. I think they were doing community projects, things like that. And if you had any questions or anything like that, there was a kind of a main office or foundation office on the property or near there. They at one point vacated this. And the only thing they saw at some point was a moving truck taking office furniture out and leaving.
These poor people.
Right? So some residents are paying for repairs themselves because they're sick and tired, like trying to get this corporation to come in and fix stuff that they built. And
of course.
I don't know if it's because they're bound down in lawsuits. It's kind of vague because I've watched a lot of news reports on this and read a lot of stuff on this. I don't know if this foundation, I think it like turned on itself in the sense that like Brad Pitt got involved. Maybe he slapped, and it says that he's the founder. I don't know if he slapped his name on something that he thought would make sense or whatever.
You know, that's what happened.
Supposedly he actually did invest millions in this, which, you know, he's got to spend. So
pockets.
He's put his face on it and all that kind of stuff. But I think the architects they brought in were architects that just were either unexperienced or just wanted to be part of it, didn't know what to do, or were just looking to scam. I'm not sure what the deal is. And so they eventually sued their architects or their head architect for everything that went on. However, all these lawsuits have Brad Pitt's name on them. As of 2018, he's still the founder. He's still listed. So the thing is,
he's a guy who just wanted to put his name out there and wanted to do some good, probably.
Right.
And I'm not defending him or villainizing him. I'm just
It's
saying,
weird,
we know
right?
Brad Pitt didn't go down there with a saw and a hammer and go, "I'll fix this."
I mean, he actually was out there with saws and hammers at some point.
He actually, then you
Trying
could
to
sue him.
jump in and do like the habitat deal. However, I mean, it's like it's so weird because these people are being. It's just crazy to me that these people have gone through this. Like, it's just I can't even imagine, right? There are people living in unsafe conditions because some of these, I mean, these people lost everything to begin with. So you have to understand a lot of these people came back without anything in the first place.
Yes.
And so when they qualified for these homes, whether it was $150,000 to buy and they used their savings, or somehow or other they qualified for it without having to pay for it, or a loan that goes in after 10 years or whatever it is, they now have to pay $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to fix structural issues that they can't live without fixing. Some of them are living in conditions where they can't afford to fix these things. So they're just in these homes going, okay, now what do we do, right? So a lot of people believe his intentions were good. The project has become a cautionary tale, though, about nonprofit housing failures, lack of accountability, and the risks of poorly damaged or poorly managed sustainable development. Because a lot of the stuff that they use for sustainable materials broke down real quick in New Orleans.
As Ron says, it's
climate.
contractors' fault. They know the rules. They
Right.
have cheap supplies. No, it's always
Exactly.
as soon as somebody figures out, oh, I could skimp on this and pocket the money. That's where it is.
You know, and
That's
it's
where it goes wrong.
another project that somebody skimped on, and it ended up killing people, was the project down in New Orleans, the Hard Rock Hotel. I don't know if you saw that, but that's the same kind of thing, right? What goes on with New Orleans? So then on top of that, people are worrying about, or they're pointing fingers at New Orleans for like inspector issues. Like, you know, you guys, you run the city, you should know. You should send inspectors in that, like,
Yep.
know what this is supposed to be, what kind of materials have to be used, and look at all this. Like, how was this stuff inspected and like passed?
Because there we go. Just pay a
Okay,
little
but
bit
it's
to the
kinda like,
inspector.
yeah, with everything that went on with the Corps of Engineers that were sued, by the way, for the first structural issue going on with those levees, right? That were never really completely done in the 60s or whatever. That right after that first hurricane, they were supposed to rebuild it. It was supposed to be better, and they skipped on that, right? And so this is why all this stuff happened in 2005. So it's kind of like, what is going on in New Orleans, right? It's just kind of crazy.
Exactly.
There's just no accountability. There seems to be no, and I don't know. The guidelines seem to be screwed up, but everything seems to be goes in wrong and doesn't happen the way it should, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just want to say, I know we got a lot of stuff that's going on today, as far as like news and the cycle of news and everything like that. However, I think that it feels like this is going to become a thing, because at one time this was sort of like something that people knew about, but it kind of went under the radar. I don't know if I know that some of his people probably tried to like, when I tell you this story was nowhere, when somebody talked to me about this story, I really thought that they were full of it. I'm like, there's no way. I've never heard this anywhere. What are you talking about? I've not heard this from anybody. And so once this documentary lands last Wednesday, a big part of the third, I think there's 3 episodes, and the big part of the third episode was this and what's going on with this. And when you see, I don't know if anybody's looked at pictures of these houses, but it is unbelievable. It's unbelievable how like condemned and disgusting these houses are in 20 years, or not even 20 years, 18 years, 17 years. So I don't know what's going to happen, because this is a big thing where all the lawsuits are still pending.
Right.
But the story of it, I think, is going to blow up now, because for some reason it didn't get any kind of, I mean, I go back and I see in New Orleans all these news reports at the time, 6 or 7 years ago or whatever. There's a lot of like news reports where they were down there walking around New Orleans and talking about it, but like nationally, somehow or other, this did not happen.
Wow.
Or it didn't get the recognition. So I just wanted to bring that up, because that may be something you guys are seeing in the news going forward, because I'm starting to see news reports coming out that are recent about this, that are national. I know that looks like Ashley Banfield of News Nation, she did something on it and whatever. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. If you get a chance to see that documentary, I mean, what can I tell you? I watch documentaries that are not fun to watch. I mean, they're sad.
Right.
But I think it's important to see stuff like this because we live in a country where we need to be aware of whatever, like whatever goes on. If you live near the water, I mean, we're on the East Coast. And so we need to know like what kind of stuff has to be in place for us to be, to deal with any kind of storm or tsunami or anything like that, where we're going to be dealing with flooding and people being organized and moved around and evacuated. All that kind of stuff is important to me anyway. And what happened there it was a huge deal, And if you're into New Orleans at all, New Orleans is not the same because of this. Just like the way that New Orleans, the culture of New Orleans and the structure of it and the people, the community, like it's not the same area anymore. Like all of that history is gone. And it's very gentrified now. And people that live there are horrified by how much of just that or New Orleans flavor of being there is like missing because so many people left. And when they left, they said they found better living conditions in other places. Like they, and just said, well, why would I go back to that? I mean, especially knowing that I could be evacuated again. I could lose everything again. Like, so I don't know. It's just a big deal. And it's a huge historical event in sense of like what the trajectory became after it. So be looking out for the Make It Right Home stuff because I think that's going to be a story.
It's just sad.
It is.
I mean, so sad that whenever there is a catastrophe, there are good people who, like you said, will go down and help and volunteer and do this. But inevitably, what happens is you look and there's always somebody there looking to take advantage of a bad situation. Exactly. And these things happen far too often because you get the publicity of, look, we're all going to help and this is what we're good at and blah, blah, blah. We're going to raise the spirit. And then you look back years later and go, oh, so they weren't in it just to help. They were in it to help themselves.
And the title of this is irony because everybody's like, well, this was supposed to make it right, but did it make it right? Yeah. I mean, everybody that's there is like, they've made it wrong. They've made it wrong.
And they know they're making it wrong when they're making it.
And I should say that they are saying that, or not anymore, everything ceased to happen, but I think a couple of years after everything started happening, 2010 maybe, that they were in there trying to do repairs. So I guess there were certain homes that they did come in, they did replace this, replace that. But I personally think they got so bogged down with everything that they just went, they pulled the plug on it. So I just feel bad for those people. There was one resident that died from it.
Mold?
I don't know if it was toxic mold or what it was, but she died from the conditions from health conditions from what she was dealing with. So, that's a thing that we should keep an eye on, I think, as Americans, as human beings,
And you mentioned before, and even Ron mentioned in his comments, living near a coastal city is not fun. I live on Long Island. Yeah. We had Sandy, the Superstorm Sandy, and now everything is mandated that all those houses have to be on stilts, and because otherwise your basement's flooded and everything's gone. And I know there are problems in Florida of people unable to get flood insurance because, well, you live in an area where you're going to be flooded. Why should we pay for it?
There are properties. I sit around and look at this stuff for my amusement. I'm just a very weird child in the sense that I like to research. And so I watch a lot of documentaries on housing, on areas like that, on different hurricanes that have come through and stuff that's happened. But I also watch a lot of urban exploration, and I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by people that walk through abandoned stuff or whatever. However, a lot of these areas in Florida, these were swamplands to begin with. Mm-hmm. And properties were built on these swamplands knowing full well that wasn't going to sustain the property. And so these developers come in. What do they care, right? They make a specific amount of money. Not. They can come in, they build the property, they make whatever money they have, and then they leave. And that's a whole nother thing about what is Florida doing with, what are their regulations? I mean, that's the Wild West down there right now anyway. And it has been for a while, but it's money. It's like, all right, you need somewhere to live. Here's some places here. They're cheaper than other places, but it's kind of like, they don't tell the residents everything. A
Nope.
lot of people come in from out of town and don't know the area that well and don't know really what. There were a couple of apartment complexes down there that are just completely empty because they were flooded in Rita or some kind of hurricane where, you know, the water was up, you know, 10 feet, you know, and so
What was the one? Wasn't there one? I've got to say, about 5 years ago, at a
yeah,
hurricane, and it pretty much destroyed an apartment building.
I can't
Am I
remember.
remembering that right?
You might, because it probably could. I mean, so many places it could be anywhere. I mean, I
And it
think
turns out they had cut costs on construction as well.
yeah, that's another thing. It's kind of like who's you know, if sometimes it feels like we live in a world where it's like, you know, if you're a contractor, you're making the money. You know, if you're a property manager, you're making the money. But like, who's watching out for people that are moving into these places?
Nobody.
And you know, losing clothes and food and like, you know, just everything. I mean, you know, it's I don't know. I do believe that we're having, and a lot of people don't believe in global warming, but some of the stuff that's going on under the water, coral reefs and things like that. Some of that stuff in swamp land, stuff that they're developing on top of that they're knocking down, is causing change in weather pattern. I mean, like
Absolutely.
I think Katrina happened because a lot of swampland was removed, and a lot of that, from what they were saying, you know, if you talk to somebody who knows a lot about like that environmental stuff, a lot of the swampland down on the coast kind of like cushions or protects a lot of the inner water. So like the way that the water flows it was based on all that swampland actually kind of stood in the way a lot of times of people. You know, it's a buffer.
Mhm.
Exactly. So anyway,
There you go.
long story short, a long story long. If you have a chance to look into that, it's just interesting to see what's going to happen. I feel like everybody, just like that, like I said, look up the New Orleans Hard Rock Hotel, because that thing came down right in the middle of a main street. Like it literally fell on top of a main street in traffic because somebody built it wrong. But at the end of the day, like people died and like nobody was charged. Nobody went to court over it. Like I just feel like that's what's going to happen here. That just like everybody's just gonna like throw their hands up and walk away, and like nothing's gonna get resolved. So I'm not sure. But we'll
I
see.
understand that.
Yep.
Okay.
But anyway, tell us all about what you have to say today. I'm gonna get off my story.
We're gonna move on to that into something that I thought when I first saw this, I went, this can't be what I'm thinking. And then I read the story. Let me tell you what it's about.
Oh,
well,
boy.
it's about weddings.
Oh God.
Now, the average wedding right now costs $33,000. One party, one day, $33,000. Now, to give you some type of to show you how things go up, my ex-wife and myself now, almost 30 years ago now, we paid for our own wedding, and it was $10,000 for 100 people. And we felt, wow, and we did a lot of DIY stuff to keep the price down. But nowadays, people are trying, well, here's something different to keep prices down.
Okay.
There's a woman who, she has an Airbnb, and she was renting it to people who were attending a wedding. And for some reason, she came up with the idea of, you know what? I'm going to get together with the bride and groom, and I'm going to sell tickets to the wedding. Now, obviously, you're thinking, I'm an invited guest. I don't need to buy tickets. Okay. We're not talking about invited guests. We're talking about strangers. Would you pay to attend someone else's wedding?
No, I wouldn't go.
Why not?
I probably wouldn't go to a wedding for free. So unless I'm working, I'm a DJ. The only way I show up at weddings is when I'm playing the music. That's the only reason.
There you go.
There. Yeah.
Do you get a lot of wedding gigs?
Not as. I mean, it's not that I don't. I used to get a whole lot more when I was younger, but there's so much involved. It's not that I don't want to. It's sometimes I just kind of. Yeah. Once in a while, it depends. If it's somebody that I know, that I'm close with, or that knows somebody I know, you know, like I kind of will do those. But they're such a dog and pony show. And
Oh my
so,
God.
you know,
That's all it
it's a
is.
lot.
People are not concerned about the marriage. They're concerned about the wedding.
I've always said that. Like if people would put as much detail into the marriage itself as they did with like how the napkins
Bingo.
match the glasses or whatever, they'd be in business. But
Now,
yeah,
the more I read, I was like you, like pay to go to a wedding that I don't know the people.
right.
Why would I do that? Well, according to her, she says, who doesn't want to go to a wedding? Well, Lena and I are on that list. But
Yeah. I don't know.
it says some people don't get invited to weddings and they would like to be. Okay.
I don't know who
So
these people
she
are.
decided to.
Let's find
I don't
these
know
people.
Apparently there are, though. She was selling it, so she created this service, and she speaks to prospective brides and grooms,
Okay.
and tells them, okay, I'm going to charge this much. I get my cut. You're going to get this, which I'm assuming is going to cover their meal and I guess a gift. Because if I'm a stranger, I don't know. Am I bringing a gift if I decide to do this?
This is weird. This is very weird.
It
This is all
it
very
is.
strange. I mean,
So now she has a website.
we're living in an upside down world right now, so I guess everything is on the table. But that's just so
We
strange.
are.
I feel like it.
Oh, pardon me. So now she has created Invitin. That's the name of her company. And what happens, like I said, she explains to them, I think it's interesting, get dressed up, meet people, have some fun, possibly a disaster wedding.
I mean, if you're gonna go, this is the only thing I can think of. If you want to go out for dinner and you're looking to like compromise your meal with like what you would get in a restaurant,
Yes.
then maybe it's more fun than just sitting at a table with somebody and eating your food. I don't know. So it's like a package deal, but it's still a dinner. I don't know.
No, I wonder, are you seated with other people who bought tickets? Or, I mean, I don't want to be seated.
Yeah.
Am I with the cousins? Where am I?
Yeah.
But anyway, the bride and groom actually get to decide. This woman will show you, these are your prospective strangers who want to pay for your wedding. You could say yes or no, because you may look at them and go, serial killer, I don't want him at my wedding, you know?
I guess.
So then they decide.
Yeah.
The good thing is the guests have to sign a strict rules. They have to abide to strict rules. It says sign up, but you have to dress appropriately, arrive on time. You cannot get drunk.
Okay.
And you can only share photos with authorization from the bride and groom. So there are some standards.
That's already a lot of work. And do you know?
Well, I mean, if you go to a wedding, isn't that?
Right, but I mean, do you know how many people will say, yeah, okay, whatever, and then do whatever they want anyway? I mean, how do you police that?
Well,
that's my thing. I mean, I've been to a lot of weddings, and there's really there's no way to really like, I guess unless you sue somebody after the fact, but like, how do you like keep people from doing the things you don't want them to do, even if they sign something that says they won't?
Well, you can't kick them out. You're in violation. You're in violation of the rules. Who's going to kick them out? I don't know. Hi, Danny.
Yeah. Hi, Danny.
Now,
yeah. So
here are the things. Here are the things. I have a list of things that.
Okay.
They list why you would want to do this, because you and I again were going, why would I ever want to do this? Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's sort of like live theater, like you stated before.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to go out, have dinner, have a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have live theater off-Broadway shows. Like, what was the longest? Tony and Tita's Wedding.
Yeah.
Was a long-standing off-Broadway show, which was a wedding that you were.
What about those?
Do
they still have those restaurants that are like they're like Viking times, and you go in and eat this, but like
medieval times. I love those.
Okay, I've never been to one, but I haven't seen anything about it in a long time. I didn't know if they still had those. Okay.
See, Ron has it. It's going to a fancy event. If you want to have.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I guess. No, I mean there's no menu options. That's where I stop. I mean, there's really no, unless it's a restaurant.
Yeah, do you have to check chicken, beef, or fish before?
Right. like
beforehand.
it's very there's a very limited palette and selection, and so like that's
True.
where I like. What if I want something that's not on? I mean, I guess I just wouldn't go there, but and again, no matter what restaurant or what place you go to, they're doing it like almost like a catering style. So the food is just subpar. I don't know what else to say. It's
I
good,
agree with that
but it's
too.
nothing like you would eat in a restaurant no matter where you go,
No.
because they're trying to do it in bulk, and so therefore the quality suffers. So there you go. Like you're also not eating a great meal like to begin with, right? So I don't know.
I agree.
Anyway,
So it's sort of like going to ballroom dancing. Well, I don't know. In ballroom dancing, you're going there and you know it's going to be a group of strangers.
right.
Usually when you go to a wedding, you're there as, family or friends. Here's a good one though.
Mhm.
To be able to experience a wedding in different traditions. I have heard Indian weddings are amazing. That they are
Okay.
shows, that they
Yeah.
are feasts. I would love to experience that.
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
one Indian friend who is already married, so I'm not going to that wedding. So maybe
Well,
I
you should
could
tell
do
them to
that.
get it together and have another one.
Have another wedding.
Because you
And
need
by
to
the way, just for
experience it.
me, could you do that?
Right.
I mean, maybe you want to come to a Jewish wedding? Hey, I had one. You want to
Right.
go to, different traditions, different venues? Go enjoy.
Right.
There is a definite
Yeah.
entertainment value, food, music, and potentially meeting someone. By the way, people look to meet other people at weddings, and you're not worried about trying to date a second cousin.
There's that guy thing again where it's like every time I go out of the house, I've got to be a potential meet that I might have. That's why I leave my house. I don't know if that's what that is, but it just makes me laugh every time I see it. It's kind of like that it could be a possible thing, and it's like
It is.
doesn't this exhaust you guys to deal with that? But anyway, most of us are like oblivious, or at least it feels like most would. Maybe not. Maybe it's probably just me. Never mind. But it's just like I go out to go
You
out.
just put it on yourself. I'm done.
I don't
That's
have
it.
any expectations of like anything. I just other than like what I'm going to do, But anyway, yeah. But the
Another
chicks
reason
could be
you might
great.
do.
The chicks could be great. Sorry.
Why not?
Yeah.
Another reason to do this is if you are getting married and
Mhm.
you want to check things out, you'll get ideas from other people. Oh my God, this was a great DJ. They did that right. I didn't like the way they did that. There are certain things that you can,
That I
like,
would do if I was shopping. Yes.
yes, see, it's a great idea.
That's maybe
Let's
the best
see.
idea so far.
That is the best. Those are the only two good ideas. They say it's an interesting date night, but like you said, it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting. The food selection is limited.
Right.
I don't know. Could you leave if you wanted to? In the middle. Like we're not
I think
having
you
a good
probably
time.
could. I don't think anybody would
We're
care.
out.
But
Eh.
yeah, if you pay for it, then you pay for it. So just look
So
at your
I
money either
think
way.
that's a great idea. Let's see. There are other things I don't understand this again, but you and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
I just don't have a big family, so I don't get invited to a lot of weddings. Oh,
Yeah, I just
okay.
can't imagine that would be a thing. But
Yeah, I'm not into that either.
I think that
But
if you came from a big family and like you were a place where you couldn't be with your family, I think that would make more sense than anything like, oh, I need to be around a big family because that's what I'm used to. That would make more sense to me.
Yes.
But people be people, and you know what I'm saying? That's all I can
I
say.
love that.
They be people, and what can
That
you
should be
do?
the name of the show. People be people.
Yeah.
So this
Exactly.
model has actually now done so well that it is growing. It started in France. They're now doing it in Italy. And in case you're wondering, people are charging up to $5,000 to attend a luxury wedding.
Okay, so you just changed something there for me.
What?
And you brought in Europe, and Europe is a whole nother dimension. And so
Well, that's where they
I
have
get it.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I wasn't thinking that this was outside of the U.S. That's why I was so baffled by it. But if it's
okay.
if you're in Italy, you could probably accidentally eat good food there at a wedding. So you're probably going to get a better experience, and they're different. It's a different culture, so I get that. In France, I get that too. Although French people aren't necessarily that good with people they don't know at like events. I didn't think they were real hospitable to. I thought they had a little bit of an attitude about, hey, do you belong here or not? But I don't know. Maybe
A little bit,
amongst
they do.
maybe amongst the French, they're a lot more. They're not very good with outside of their country stuff, but maybe within France, they're all happy with each other. I don't know. But anyway,
Now, all I'm thinking about, and I know they won't do it because they don't need the money, but
right.
could you imagine if they open that up to celebrities like the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce one is coming up? Now, obviously, they don't need any money, so they wouldn't be doing this.
So, but who's getting the money?
Could you imagine how much people would pay
I
to be like?
I thought this was for the venue, not the people that are having the wedding.
Well, the venue, but the wedding the bride and groom get a cut also.
I was gonna say, like, I would say the majority would be like a venue that was throwing it. So in Taylor and Travis's case, it probably would be quite lucrative for the place throwing it, and they probably need the money more than I would never do it, and nobody would ever do it. I'm just saying.
Oh, of course not.
I would think that the profit would be quite substantial and attractive to whatever venue is throwing this. You know.
I would love to see how high the bidding would go if they were like, okay, first 10 bids, the highest 10 bids go in, and the Swifties would just lose their minds. And
I really think that Swifties would start remortgaging their homes. I really do. I think somebody
I believe
would
you
take
would
a
see
loan
that.
out on that, and somebody would end up in jail over it probably. But hey, as long as they have a good time.
Well, they have divorces over stuff like that. But we're going to move on to that, to one of my favorite subjects. You're going to be talking about Millennial TV.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
It's so funny. The whole, I think the beginning of reality TV, right, for, I would say millennials and like young Gen X, right, is probably like, I guess, The Real World. Although Cinema Verite, that was obviously the very first. The whatever that, forget the name of the family now off the top of my head. But anyway, they did a movie about it.
The one that they followed every few years.
Yeah, ones that they did One Family on PBS to see like how would that work, right? And years later they did a movie, and I think it was called Cinema Verite, and it was like Diane Lane and James Gandolfini and a bunch of people. Anyway, if you get a chance to see that, it was pretty good. So the whole reality show thing, like, I think The Real World's kind of probably where it picked up and became, that was probably the OG of that era, right? And
before it became
as writers like, and producers and executive producers, and I mean, having all of that, scripts and actors and all that kind of stuff costs a ton of money. A lot of shows came about, I think, with the writer's strike and things like that, where shows were just like, you know what, let's just take. Somebody said to me, when you years ago, you used to be able to go out to see like the freak show. There would be like a thing that would came through town. It would be like silly stuff, like a woman with a beard and twins that were not separated and things like that.
Muscle guy. And,
like there would just be like a show that would go through, and people would come out and pay a certain amount of money to just go look at it and leave, right? But reality TV became the freak show of our era, right? Where people tuned in to watch, and families were paid a certain amount of money to become, the attraction, and a lot of people tuned in to see it, right? So, and it saved, the network so much money, especially when the actors and all that weren't in play. So, anyway, what are some of? I'm gonna name a couple of shows that I remember that were just not, that would, I think I got to bring up The Swan, because that was one of the worst ones I think ever.
Oh God!
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I've seen sort of documentaries about TV shows that have gone wrong, and they always mention The Swan.
The Swan is awful. Like, I just can't even.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know. We went through this period in the early 2000s, the late 90s, where we were just superficially disgusting. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, if that didn't do it, I mean, I did watch The Biggest Loser. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I was into it. You know.
Did you watch the documentary?
I did. Of course I did. Because I was a Julian Michaels.
Okay.
I was a Julian Michaels girl, right? I was at one point I wanted her to come to my house and just swear at me, pull me out of bed, throw me out of bed. Like, because I perform well under that kind of like literally under that
That's why she does it, because some people respond to that.
Yeah, that works well for me for whatever reason, right? And so I'm like, God, why can't I gotta get her to come to my house at 4 a.m. and just get up, loser. We're getting on a treadmill. I don't care if you're gonna throw up. I don't care if you fall on your face, whatever.
Oh God.
And that's kind of what was going on. Now, at some point, she backed out of it because they started getting into like drug use and things that weren't whatever.
Yeah.
To get the show. But at one point they didn't care. So we went through this unscrupulous period, right? The late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, where like they did whatever they had to do to get ratings. And it was just insane, right? So what I'm going to bring up is Kid Nation, because Kid Nation to me was like the ultimate of like, what were we thinking? How did anybody say okay to this? How did it ever end up on the air? Like there's so many points where it should have been, somebody should have rethought about it and said, this is nuts, right? What are we doing? Right. God. So with Kid Nation, it was kind of like, I think it was, I'm bringing up 2007 because it's my year today. Kid Nation came out in 2007. And it was 40 children living in unsupervised conditions in a New Mexico ghost town, right? They bring them into this area that, you know, is desolate and abandoned, right? Contestants revealed disturbing behind-the-scenes details about this show. Now, I don't know if anybody's watched the show. I did. I watched it and I was like, this was one of the shows that I watched with my mouth hanging open. Because I was just kind of like, I don't know, who thought of this? Like, I thought there would be way more intervention from people that were filming. Because these are children. Like, these are children. Like, you're just, I can't even.
8 years old to 15.
So I just couldn't. Anyway, they were exhausted. They were unsafe from the start. They were hauling supplies in desert heat. They were sleeping on filthy mats, right? Like, I get it. Listen, you want it to be like the olden days, right? But when in the olden days did a bunch of children run a town? Like, that never happened. So what are you doing? You know, I get it. Like, I get the conditions being like that, but bring some adults in, right? Anyway, they were forced into class divisions. And that was for the entertainment value, right? Or for the, like, to get some drama going. They made some people more prestigious than others in that way. Government councils, they brought capitalism in. Instead of true self-governance, that's the route they took, right? Camera crews encouraged fights. Okay, they didn't break up fights. They didn't save people. They made kids fight.
Of course.
Right?
Which is a reality TV staple.
Exactly. But I mean, again, it's with adults, it's kind of one thing. With kids, it's kind of like really morally, I can't explain it. I don't know.
It's manipulation. I mean?
It's dangerous, right? It's for drama. Children were pushed to kill livestock. Now, there were kids that they had conversations with that were traumatized by this. Like they made them kill chickens. Why? Because it would made good TV, right?
Well, they had to eat. They weren't going to give them any food, so
right. They cooked without safety measures, though. Like they didn't. It wasn't like anybody came in and say, "Hey, this is not good for you. This is going to kill you if you eat it like this." They didn't know how to do any of that stuff, leading to burns. So some children were burned by trying to cook because and nobody stepped in and helped them, and so therefore they ended up unsafe conditions. Accidents happened. One child drank bleach from an unmarked bottle. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Officials tried to investigate this, but they were turned away. Like they came out and said, "We want to look at this and we want to know what's going on here." And the camera crew and everybody else actually turned away officials that were trying to do CPS people, probably amongst police officers from that area, right? Producers sometimes incited chaos, such as destroying the job board to provoke mayhem. You know what I mean? And then when parents visited, they were like horrified. There were rats and there was rat poop and that kind of stuff was happening because kids didn't, like, once they cooked, These kids had to like cook, clean dishes, put like old food away, like things like that were happening.
And they didn't know how to dispose
They
of things
either
properly.
didn't know it or they literally weren't given like the means to do it. So when these parents showed up at the end, they were like, "What on God's green earth has been happening here?" Because the parents weren't allowed to be part of it, and of course it didn't air, of course, until it was finished filming. So the parents didn't know what was going on. They just
I'm reading it now. Yeah.
So it's kind of like what? Anyway, it never had a second season, obviously, right?
Nope,
it left
13
many kids
episodes.
traumatized and permanently shaped by the harsh experience, and that's crazy. So that's one of a few shows that I mean, I think like we just I don't even know. I really think in the like late 90s there were just no rules or anything. I don't know. It was just like if you sign this thing, we can just do whatever we want.
Yeah, you're going to be on TV. That's what you get.
Right.
So we can do what we want.
Exactly. And so I don't remember if how the deal went. Like if I know kids were supposed to be able to raise their hand and leave if they wanted to. But I know there were a couple of shows that I watched where they were severely traumatized for wanting to leave. And one of those kids was young. He was 9 or 8 or whatever it was. And
they have 8 or 9-year-olds, yeah.
There was one episode or one scene where like this kid was just upset and going, "I want to go." It was like that kind of thing where you want a kid that wants to go home to his mother and you just like it's breaking your heart. And the other kids are just like, "Oh, stop it, get over it." But I mean, he was too young to understand what they were saying to him. And so anyway, a couple of other ones that I got to bring up. Bridoplasty, 2010. Bridoplasty was a show like The Swan, but The Swan was worse. And Bridoplasty was like you're a bride or you're going to get married.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, and you're I think it's like 12 women or something like that, and they were trying to win a basically a plastic surgery package
for their wedding,
before their wedding, right? That's crazy. And Are You Hot? Now that was something that was. Do you remember that show? Mm-hmm. So it's like they find what they say the problem was with this show. I mean, obviously there was a bunch of stuff wrong with it, but the first thing they did was they brought in people that were already fairly attractive, like anyway, and then they put them in front of a panel of people that just took their apart body part by body part and like scrutinized everything. Mm-hmm. So the people at home watching that are like not as attractive as the people they're watching are like, well, if that's bad, then I got to be a bridge troll. Then if what I'm watching on TV where I think all these people are attractive and I don't see the problem, and these experts are telling them what's wrong with them, like what I don't. So basically, it's just like, are you hot? And there's a bunch of people that decide whether you're hot or not. And then, like, I just never, I don't know. But it's so funny if you get a chance to go down this rabbit hole. And I think Hulu has like they had a series of 90s and 2000s different types of genres. So they had one for like wrestling, they had one for comedy, they had one for reality shows, and they do go into. I know with The Swan, they went into like this poor gym guy that everybody that got involved that was part of like this team, and how he had women that were coming out of plastic surgery on treadmills. Like he was worried that they were going to be killed because they're supposed to be getting their body in shape or whatever, but like they didn't give them any time to like recover from like being under the knife.
I don't care.
And the surgery that they did was like, if you do have surgery that's plastic surgery or reconstructive surgery or anything like that, like you usually do one piece at a time, one part at a time. Like these women went in and like they just went in and got an overhaul like a car, where like every single thing that they wanted done was done on the same day. And you know what I mean? And then like within 2 weeks they were expected to be like in the gym. And the guy that they had there was like the personal trainer was just like it was really immoral as far as I was concerned to have me screaming at these women that like are still in pain and still on pain pills. And still dealing with like bruising and scarring and all the stuff that they're supposed to. And I'm mad at them because they're not working out hard enough. Like anyway, if you ever get a chance to see that, let me see. Let me quickly give you.
You didn't list one of my favorite ones, which was just horrible, which was Joe Millionaire.
I was gonna bring that was on my list. And
That's
the
on the
reason that
list.
was so terrible, I watched that too, and I was like,
Oh,
even
God.
even if he did have the 50 million, what the heck? Like, he's cute and he's got a bunch of money. Like, hey women, this is what it's all about. You know.
Well, isn't that why you go on The Bachelor or The Bachelorettes? I mean, to be seen.
I guess, and that's another thing. It attracts those kind of people, right? Sorry, Dark Side of Reality TV is the name of it. That's the name of the Hulu show, and I think it's on more than Hulu runs it, but I think it's on more than one streaming platform. I forget. I watched it on Hulu, but it's in a couple different places. But anyway, it's Joe Millionaire was crazy to me. Like, you watch the whole thing, but it's like a car accident. I remember people saying, "What?" And I love my sister, but my sister's into reality TV, and there were some things that she watched that I was just like, but then Honey Boo Boo and toddlers and tiaras and things like that.
Oh God, dance moms.
You dance moms, like it's 16 and pregnant. Like, if you sit and you watch stuff like that, you're like, should I be horrified by this, or like you were confused because you thought it was like weird that you were watching it, but you couldn't stop watching it, and then you questioned it. Like, this seems. There was a point in time, I think, where we all trusted TV executives more than we should have, I think.
Oh, not anymore.
And so when something came on TV, we almost had like it's on TV. I mean, if something was wrong with this, somebody would have said something at some point.
Of
course. So we just keep watching it. But like, when you could look back, it's kind of like, what the heck? Like, we went through it's just funny. It's like a weird alternate universe thing that happened for a little while where we were just watching the most horrible crap. And I gotta say, can I say, celebrity, what was it? The one with the Dr. Drew.
Boot camp, fit club, something like that?
No, celebrity. It was like he was a therapist. It was literally like they went into groups.
It was like The Biggest Loser for celebrities, right?
Right, but it wasn't a fitness thing. It was like a psychological thing. So it was like therapy.
Oh, I don't remember that.
They went into what was it called? It was a VH1 show, and it was like, I can't remember. Oh, I can't believe this. I can't remember. Anyway, it went on for like 5 seasons or 6 seasons, and the celebrities that went in there. It was for Celebrity Rehabs. That's what it was. Celebrity
Rehab with Dr. Drew. There you go.
So most of these people were abusers. They were substance abusers. They were having problems like that. This was like the thing where there were a couple of celebrities that were having actual problems that died that were on that show. You know what I mean? Where you were watching it. You're going, I'm watching a train wreck here. I'm like watching a person's actual life come apart. And I get that they signed up for this, but like, there's a point in time where you got to use your like common sense, or you got to use your sense of something to say this is a line. And what's his name from Greece? Jeff
Conaway.
He was one of them, and he literally, I can't even. If I was watching that show upset.
He was the first one that came to mind when you mentioned that show.
Mindy McCready was another one. I was in country music for 10 years, and Mindy McCready was having issues at one time, and she went into a full-blown seizure on that show, and I was horrified by that. Like, she just went into I don't know if it's a grand mal seizure or whatever it was from drinking or whatever. I can't remember, or the drug she was on, but like they filmed the seizure, and I was just like, this seems wrong to me. This just seems wrong to me. Yeah. And Mike Starr from Alice in Chains is another one, I believe. Was
Janie Lane from Warrant?
I didn't know if Jenny Lane was on there. I didn't notice. I didn't see that.
I don't know if he was on it, but I know he was one of the celebrities who had been seeking help.
So, like, there was some people that were just like, and another show that I got to bring up is Bonaducci. The whole thing with Danny Bonaducci.
Breaking
Bonaducci. Like, that was another thing that I was like, I mean, I personally think Bonaducci is one of these child actors that did not transition well. He eventually became okay, but he went through a period of real scary stuff, and it was all filmed, and I was kind of like, should we be watching this right now? Like, you know, there were times where he was about to throw himself off a building, and they're there filming it. He's walking up and down streets trying to dodge traffic, and we're filming it, and we're like, and I'm like, you know, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I think a lot of it had to do with he was a lifter, and he did some, I think he did some steroids and some things like that were going on.
He did plenty of steroids,
had roid rage and things like that. But it was just crazy to watch him because I think child actors, I don't think they go through periods of time because they're growing up. I now think that the industry messed with most of them, and I think that the stuff they go through is a mix of fame and not understanding how to grow into yourself when you're famous at a young age. But also, I think there's a lot of predators behind the scenes in a lot of these places, and I think these kids they're literally dealing with trauma.
But what's happening now in this generation is we have now bred contestants for all these shows, because if you watch a reality TV show, a competition show, you will see, oh, you know me from this show, and now I'm doing this show, and next I'm going to do this show. So we're raising contestants. That's a viable job now.
We are. I would point to Paris Hilton, except that now I understand her a lot more than I ever did. I do.
How so?
Paris Hilton was a WASP student. And if you know what a WASP is, or you know what WASP is.
Yes. Yes, I do know what a WASP is.
No, not a bug.
No, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
No.
Okay.
There was a bunch of schools that came out in the late 90s and early 2000s.
I heard about this. Yes. Yes.
They would just pull children out of their beds at 3 a.m., maybe throw something over their heads, throw them in a truck.
Yep.
Parents would sign up for a school. The school would hire people.
Yeah, they paid for it.
And it was a school that was predatory on parents mostly, but it put children through hell. The schools were sold.
I didn't know it was called WASP.
And beautiful. It's WWASP. So there's two W's, but a guy by the name of Robert Litchfield who kind of ran most of it. But I mean, when I tell you some of these kids were out in the middle of Utah walking in like 99-degree heat, they just did shit to children. Excuse my language. They just did stuff to children that was. The parents didn't know what was happening, and the children were just being abused. They weren't being taught anything. There was really no school structure, so she's the one who brought it to attention because I think they had her in there for 11 months. What happened was she was, a kid. She comes from the Hilton family, blah blah blah. But there was a point in time where her family moved to New York, and she was a teenager. And so what she did was she was a teenager doing teenage stuff, like she wanted to go out and party and whatever, and somebody convinced her family that she was on a bad road, which she wasn't. She was just like, and sold them. And a lot of the parents that put their kids in these schools have a lot of money, or they mortgage their houses to do it, which is crazy, right? But they're being told, ridiculous. your child's going to die. Your child will be. There are things that are going to happen if you don't do something about this. And don't worry, we'll take care of everything. And then they just kidnap your kid. That's basically what was going on. They put her, some of the stuff she talked about, kids that were chained to walls, kids that were in dog cages upside down. They put some kids upside down. They put kids, they'd sit on kids, and kids would be, I can't breathe. And they'd be like, well, if you can breathe, if you can talk, you can breathe. Just abuse, right? If you ever see a movie, there's a documentary called The Program, if you get a chance to see it. If you haven't seen it already, it'll explain to you. That's pretty much what it is. But she's the first one in her documentary that came forward with that.
To come out.
And brought it to everybody's attention. Nobody knew anything about it. Anyway, the kids become very, almost, I want to say robotic, because while they're in that school, they're not allowed to speak. They're not allowed to talk to anybody. They're not allowed to look at anybody. There's all this stuff that happens.
Well, according to Ron, he checked in, and they're all defunct now except for one.
They're saying there's one in Jamaica.
Academy in Mexico.
Ron, I don't know if you want to look at it, but I thought there was one still in Jamaica that they're trying to get.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway, and yeah, it's so easy to the areas that they put these schools in are like deregulated areas, right? So that nobody can see what they're doing, and then they go around the building so that nobody can see, so they do whatever they want to do inside, and like nobody can really pay attention to them. They're in all these isolated areas and stuff. But anyway, it makes people, it desensitizes people to their own feelings, and it makes them very robotic. And I've never really understood it, but if you watch Paris Hilton and how she acts, she was deprogrammed. She, like, as a child, like, there's videos of her just being a regular kid. And when they put her in there, they changed her personality to the point where she's very stoic and very robotic. And like, there's all this stuff that it seems like she's like, oh, I'm bigger than you, I'm better than you. But like, really, she's just, okay. All right. So there might be, there is one in Jamaica. And I'll look it up and I'll put a link for it later. But anyway, everything that she did was in response to what she went through. And so she built. Why did she build an empire she built? Because she was afraid of like depending on anybody. She didn't trust her parents. She was scared to death to depend on anybody after that. Because if your parents do this to you, then like, where do you turn?
Who can you trust?
And if they're intercepting your letters, like they're saying, oh, you can talk to your parents, send your parents a letter, and they literally would go through kids' letters and punish them for telling their parents what was really going on. Their parents wouldn't get letters. So, and they would say, oh, your kid's fine. Your kid's fine. No, your kid must have not had anything to say to you. Meanwhile, they're, stacking up all these letters that these kids are trying to write to their parents. And then turning on the kids and going, yeah, we know you're trying to do this. So, we're punishing you for trying to tell your parents that you were doing these things to you and, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, she's one of the people that got into reality TV, that she's got a complete persona that she developed, that she didn't want to be herself and just became. But after you go through all that, like, what do you care if you don't
I can understand not caring what anybody would think after that.
Right. Exactly. So, I really thought she was an idiot at one point. I really did.
Well, we all did.
But I think if you ever see anything substantial about her, Tranquility Bay, there you go. That's the one.
Still has an operating website.
Yeah.
Oh,
they can't do. They're trying. I think there's kids involved in the program that are trying to get recognition because there's kids in there. So they're trying to make sure the kids in there are aware. They don't let the kids see or hear much. They don't let them watch the news or TV or anything. So the kids don't know what's going on outside. So Paris and some of these kids have gone to different schools that before they became defunct to stand outside with signs, because there's no other way for those kids inside that school to know anybody cares or anybody knows what's going on with them or anything. Anyway, so that's the deal with that. And so that if you get a chance to really look into Paris Hilton, she's actually pretty bright. She's extremely intelligent. And she's built up an empire, however she had to do it. Some of it was reality TV, and maybe she just knew that at that time that was something that she could do, and it would boost her brand or whatever.
And it did.
And she played. I always say, like, there's people that are out there that kind of play a part. Like I would say, Dolly Parton, right?
Oh. Facility closed 2009.
I just listened to a podcast from 2 years ago that's saying that that's not true. That they still believe that stuff's going on there. Maybe they're just floating information that's incorrect so that people will forget about it or leave it alone. I don't know, but it's called Trapped in Treatment. If you get a chance, that's the documentary, and it's a podcast actually, but Trapped in Treatment, and I think it's. Like as of 2 years ago, they did the last episode, or maybe 2023, and they were talking about Tranquility Bay at that point. But anyway, so yeah, I can't remember what I was saying, but I believe that Dolly Parton. I always use Dolly Parton as an example. She's one of the smartest women in show business, like smarter than I don't know what. But for a very long time, she played the dumb blonde role, and. Somebody asked her, how does it make you feel? And she's like, well, I'm not dumb and I'm not blonde, so I'm fine with it. I know how.
And it works because of it.
Right. And so I think Paris Hilton kind of took that route in like that. Hey, if people want to think I'm stupid, but I'm making money off it, I don't care. You know what I mean? Well, I'm just gonna put
That's how it
together.
works.
So anyway, that's that. So I don't know. I think Kid Nation is still somewhere out there. I believe it's on YouTube.
Oh, God.
Because of course it got
And
pulled.
well,
and nobody-
everything's that lives out there. I mean, if you look on the
Right.
internet, I'm sure you'll be able to find
I think
it.
I saw. I could because I went looking for this a while back, and I thought that's where I found it. And I did watch it again, but I can't remember now.
Oh my
but
God.
anyway. Yeah.
Ron, I have a question for you, my friend. Since would you like me to go on with the next segment, or would you like me to hold it for next week? Because it is a pretty hefty segment. I'm going to wait for Ron.
Go on.
We have
Go on.
Go on. Should I go on? Okay. Then
Okay.
yeah, welcome to the 2-hour show.
I know, man. We're making up for lost time, Ira.
Oh yeah, that's right. We weren't here last week, so we have to get acquainted again. Let's see. Oh wait, he put up the. I'm confused now. Should I go? Not go?
I don't know. He did put up the. Okay.
He put
There
up
we
the
go.
ending.
I
Oh,
think
there we
it
go.
might have-
Okay.
It might have been an accident. Okay.
There we go. So I just saw, as it
Mhm.
says on the screen, if you're watching, the top 10 funniest movies based in the past 50 years. This was by a website called Collider. So this is their opinion of, let's see, from movies from 1975 to 2025. It says everybody loves to laugh, and great comedy is a gift to us all. The past 50 years have been widely varied and impactful time for the comedy genre, going through many massive shifts and persevering across a multitude of complete reinventions of how film is experienced by audiences. That sounds very funny to me, by the way. Let's see. While each person is going to have their distinct tastes and opinions, these are the funniest movies of the past 50 years, by and large, consistently. Okay. So first of all, going through this, I did two things. One, I obviously have the Collider list of what they say. And then I went to Ranker. And if you're not familiar with the website Ranker, it is just anybody and everybody goes there and you can rank anything.
Right.
So if you really want to find out what people actually think, that's where you go. And I went to the People's Ranker to see if I can compare this. And I discovered one other thing while I was doing this, which is movies in the 80s, and we're going to mention a lot of them, extremely funny. Then you go to the 90s, and there's some really good comedies in the 90s.
Right.
But less. Then you go to the 2000s, and there's even less. 2010s, even less. And as you go on, comedy seems to be either morphing into something else or disappearing. And
I would say
I think
the former, maybe. It's probably morphing or changing what comedy is, what people think it is, or
Yeah, do you ever watch TV shows where they go, this is a comedy? Like, I love The Bear. The Bear is a great TV show, and they have it listed as a comedy. I don't see that show as a comedy at all. There are some jokes in it, but
there are some. I don't know about show. I guess I never really thought about it. I probably have seen like show descriptions and thought that doesn't make sense.
No.
But I'll bring up Dead to Me. I mean, that was hilarious to me. But I have a very black comedy.
Yes.
So stuff that I think is funny, probably most people might think is offensive. But so, to me, Dead to Me is hilarious. But anyway.
Let's see if you've seen any of these and if you would agree. Again, top 10. Now, you may think it's funny, but top 10.
Right.
So this is from the Collider group. Number 10 was Anchorman, the Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Absolutely. One of the funniest.
It is one of the most quotable movies of all time. Yes. Will Ferrell's hysterical.
And Bill Curtis, who I want to narrate my life someday, narrates that movie, and I absolutely love that man. But anyway, yeah, great movie.
Number 9, very underrated movie, A Fish Called Wanda. Kevin Kline Jamie
Yeah.
Lee Curtis from 1988. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen it, that is a great movie.
In my area, everybody that and maybe not Ron, because he just said he didn't like. Oh, he didn't like Anchorman.
Oh, Ron didn't like it. Yeah, Ron's not a big Will Ferrell guy.
I'm not either, but in that movie, I didn't mind, and it really wasn't just him that, like, if Will Ferrell's very collaborative. If he's by himself, I don't find him very funny. Fish Called
I
Wanda,
like
for
him.
whatever reason, everybody around me that I know, it was a very good movie, very funny movie, but I thought people loved it. They were taken away, in my area is a big movie, and I don't know if it's just maybe not nationally that it went under the radar, but
Oh God,
around where I'm living, everybody thought it was fantastic. So I don't know.
it
It was
if
okay.
you haven't seen it, that's a great movie to go
It
see.
is.
Number 8, I enjoyed the movie. I don't think top 10. Super Bad. Brought us Jonah Hill and Michael Cera.
Yeah, that's definitely
the,
a Gen Z movie.
Yeah,
It's
maybe we
definitely-
were a little too old,
It's good.
because we had
It's
Breakfast
funny.
Club and. By the way,
Right.
no Breakfast Club on this list, huh?
I didn't think Breakfast Club. That's one of those where I'm like, is it? I mean, it was comedy for us. Like technically, Gen
Yes.
X had, I think, a different type of comedy. It was it was a very therapeutic movie, and I think we liked it because it was very realistic. It was just really realistic. But I don't know if anybody would think that was funny. We thought it was funny because it spoke to us so much. But
Yes,
I can't say
absolutely.
everybody else feels the same way. I didn't think it was a comedy, but I mean, there's some funny lines in it.
Oh my
but
God, I can quote the entire movie.
So can I, from beginning to end, like right now.
Yep.
but I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, number 7. If you're a Monty Python fan, The Life of Brian.
Yeah, I like it.
Are you a Python fan?
I'm not like a fanatic, no. But I like
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's
I'm not a
good factor.
fanatic either, but I thought that was a pretty good
Yeah.
one. Number 6.
What about History of the World? I
This
think I
is
like
a
that
cult
one better, but
following
yeah.
to me.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Did you see Clerks? Kevin Smith.
That's a 90s comedy thing. I like Clerks, but I didn't like. I wasn't like was it falling out of my seat laughing over Clerks?
No, I
But
agree.
It's got that same Chasing Amy. It's just got that same. There was a couple of movies that had that vibe that Kevin Smith did. That
Mallrats, Clerks, Chasing Amy.
that he's got a certain type of humor that
Yeah,
people just like.
not top 10.
Yeah, I didn't
Not
think it
top
was
10.
the best. No.
Number 5. The Dude Abides, The Big Lebowski,
That's
Coen
a good
Brothers, and Jeff Bridges.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I really like it, and when it's on, I will watch it.
Yeah.
But I can't put it in the top 10.
I don't think I would either, but it's up there. It's up there. It's got some. It is very quotable movie. And John Goodman, I love John Goodman in anything. He just is. The
Yeah,
best.
John Goodman is amazing.
Yeah, and Buscemi, he's another one. I mean, anything.
Oh, Steve Buscemi. Yeah, that's just it. Most of these movies that we really like are ensemble films where you're picking out more than just one person.
Exactly.
Which brings us to number 4, which is the most recent, 2011's Bridesmaids. Kristen
Bridesmaids
Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Melissa McCarthy.
Oh my God, that movie is hysterical. It is hysterical.
From beginning to end.
And Melissa McCarthy, this is before. I mean, she was kind of in the scene at that time, but she wasn't big at that time. She just took the movie and ran with it. I mean, she really did. From almost the beginning of the movie, she just some of the stuff. But the scene with her and her husband on the plane is hilarious. Because she's married to him, and I think she's
the one who played the TSA agent. Is her husband,
and then later, I love her in everything. So I love The Boss, but The Boss is one of my favorite movies ever. You guys,
with Peter Dinklage.
Oh yeah, I love Kristen Bell, and for some reason that was a really great pair. But he's also in that, and it's just funny to watch her bounce off him and all that stuff too. But yeah, Bridesmaids is just you can't breathe if you go. Bridesmaids was I guess the Hangover for women, where you can't actually.
That's not bad.
You can't breathe. You have to shut it off to get a breath. You will die laughing at that movie. You'll stop. You're
gonna miss the next line, and it's gonna be funny. so you
Like,
want
it's
to watch
just
it again
one
and
after
again.
the other after the other. It's really good. Anyway, go ahead.
Number 3, to me, I didn't even think of it. It's one of those movies I've seen a couple of times, and it's hysterical, but I
Mhm.
haven't seeked it out. The Birdcage, Nathan Lane and Robin Williams,
It's a good
and Hank
classic.
Azaria, hysterical in that
And the
movie.
kid that plays his son, what is his name? I love that kid. He's been in a few things. But yeah, that is a really good movie. I
Oh
don't
my God, Gene Hackman.
yeah,
I forgot who played
it's
the wife. Callista Flockhart was in that. If you remember her,
she played
it's
the girl that
amazingly
his
funny
son was
movie.
getting engaged to. Who played the mother? Wasn't it Diane Diane Weist?
I believe it was.
I was Diane Weist, but
I've
like with a
seen them
blonde
together. I'm
wig or
thinking it
blonde. She
was.
was all blonde with the hat. Oh, it was hilarious. It was a really good
Yes.
movie.
Oh,
I
that's a
mean,
great movie.
I agree that it's sort of, I don't know. It feels like it went by the wayside sometimes, but
And now the top 2 are both 80s films.
okay.
Number 2, and they're finally getting around to doing a sequel, is Spinal Tap.
Oh yeah, I heard about
One of
that.
the most
Yeah, you
had to
could
be
quote.
there.
Yeah, that's the type of thing. There's a bunch of movies like that. I can't think of right now. But
Let's turn it up to 11. Let's go.
yeah, like this goes to 11, but this goes to 11. Very quotable
Oh, look,
movie.
he's got Happy Gilmore, Waterboy. Wow, both of them. Stir Crazy, Tommy Boy, Weekend at Bernie's, Wild Hogs.
Really?
Ugh. The Toy, and any Abbott and well, no, Abbott and Costello would have been before 75, so you got to
Right.
take those out. Number 1, and I believe this may be the most quoted movie for people our age, and that is Airplane with the one and only Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah. Aren't they doing a? Didn't they just do a?
They did Naked. The
Didn't they just do a
police.
Naked Gun
Yes, that was
with
it. Naked Gun. The
what's her
Police Files
face?
with Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson and Pam Anderson, which is
Yeah.
they're supposed to be like into a little romance over that, I guess. But anyway, yeah, that's a good one. Airplane is a good one. I mean,
And you
we're
know
getting
how
to a
I know
point
it's
where
good?
people aren't gonna know what the lines are anymore. Like, that's what's crazy. But
Airplane is literally the only one I agree with. That was funny. I showed my daughter, who is now 23, and I think it
yeah,
was 2 years ago. I said, this is on. Let's watch this. And it held up. It was very funny.
yeah,
I
it
enjoyed
does.
it. It is the one movie where every line you have to pay attention to
Yep.
because there's a joke in literally every line.
I will say this about that movie, and I've watched it a million times, and every time I watch it, there's some damn thing I didn't notice. Every single time I watch
Always.
that movie, there's some weird thing in the background or something up on the
Yes.
wall, or there's just something. They put so much stuff into those scenes that it's like you can't pay attention to everything. So that's what I think is cool about Airplane. Like, there's always a new thing that, like, I was like, why did I ever see that? So
you're looking now at the pictures in the background, like you said. You're looking at
yeah,
what do you call Air Israel plane coming in with a yarmulke on it. I mean, you can see a joke in every scene.
I forget the name of the radio station, but they're like, where disco lives forever, and the plane takes the tower out.
Yes, and they knock out the tower.
They just go over it, and it goes dark.
I love that.
It's great.
Now,
and Barbara Billingsley, by the way, what a great role for her. Like, who saw that one coming? Like, June Cleaver.
Perfect.
Like, whoever thought that? Like, she'd come in and be like, I speak jive. Oh my God, it's great. Anyway, sorry.
She is perfect. Let's see. So that was Collider.
Okay.
And there were a few on there, I think you and I agree, maybe not top 10.
Yeah, I agree.
There was some left off. Now we're going to go to the people's list. But since Ron gave his, there's a bunch on here that they put as, runner-up, and I'll run through them very quickly. Old School, Something About Mary, Friday, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Wedding Crashers, Hangover, Spaceballs, and shame on you, Ron, for not having Spaceballs on there, Princess Bride, Beetlejuice, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Coming to America, Austin Powers, The Wedding Singer, Tommy Boy, Clueless, Legally Blonde, Happy Gilmore, Robin Hood Men in Tights, very underrated, Mrs. Doubtfire,
Yeah.
Groundhog Day, City Slickers, Dodgeball, and one of my favorites, and we have spoken about this before, Idiocracy.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Idiocracy out of that list, they're all great.
Yeah.
Idiocracy will tell you where we're heading.
Well,
and
it's not a comedy anymore now,
unfortunately,
is it? It's documentary, right?
It is. I've heard people say that before.
Yeah, it's just but yeah, it's I'm trying to think of any of them on that list that I would definitely want Trading Places to be on that list, but it's probably on the list that you're going to bring up. I'm not really sure.
Trading Places was a really good movie, and you were right. It did end up on the top 10 for the people.
Okay.
Now I'm going to run through it because the show's going very long. So number 10 on the people's list was My Cousin Vinny.
Oh yeah.
Great movie.
Yep.
Number 9. I don't know if it should be top 10, but it is here. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Love the movie.
Just
top
watched
10,
it the other day.
maybe not. Really? Did you watch the whole thing?
I watch it all the time, so I just so happen to be.
Oh wow!
I can quote it. I don't know.
What does it teach us about life?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about, because he said a lot of stuff.
Life moves pretty fast.
Life moves pretty fast once in a while. If you don't stop and look around, you can miss it.
There you go.
I heard that was not a line that that line was thrown in at the last minute, and that wasn't the original line. And I don't remember what the original line was because I just saw that the other day. But somebody said that the other day. I was watching. I saw it on social media or something that that was one of the top 10. What do you call it? Like facts about the movie.
Most quotable.
That he threw in that quote at the last minute, and it
nice
it
improv.
And the one he was going to use was terrible. It was like, oh, it was so bad I don't even remember it.
Matthew Broderick's a good actor, so.
Yeah. But it wasn't. It was John Hughes that did it. He was the one that.
Oh, John Hughes gave him the line.
Yeah, he's the one that changed the line at the last minute, and obviously Matt landed it real well. But yeah, that's a great.
By the way, most of these. Wait, hold on. I'm checking now very quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the top 10 were 80s movies. So that should tell you something.
There you go. Because a lot of our stuff didn't. What's the word I'm looking for? A lot of our stuff didn't maybe age well, but. I don't
know. I'd watch all these movies.
I know. I love them too.
Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
Okay.
Steve Martin, John Candy. Number 7 was yours, Trading Places. Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. Great movie.
Yes.
Number 6. I gotta say I'm tired of watching it.
Did you just say 8?
8 was Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. 7 was Trading Places.
I'm sorry. Did you do 1 and 2? 10 and 9 already, and I missed it. You did.
10 was My Cousin Vinny.
Okay. You did. Sorry.
9 was Bueller.
We got so excited.
For some reason, Ron didn't like. 8 was Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. 7 was Trading Spaces. Spaces. That was another show. Trading Places.
Trading Wives?
Number 6.
Yeah.
I remember Trading Spaces, though. Number 6 was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, that's a big one. It is.
It's very quotable.
I don't know if it's like a big one all the time, though. It's definitely a Christmas movie.
I agree with that.
I almost think the first Vacation is a good standard for all times. But it's okay. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, Christmas is good.
Number 5 is The Naked Gun, Files from the Police Squad.
Yeah, okay.
Number 4, here you go, Vacation.
Okay.
You got your wish.
I don't know that 2 Vacations should be that close to the top. I honestly think that's a lot. A lot of
I think being number 4 is high.
Okay.
Number 3 was Caddyshack.
Yeah. Caddyshack. Oh my God.
Very quotable.
Oh my God. What's your favorite in Caddyshack? Because to me, it's Rodney Dangerfield all day.
Come on. You gotta.
He is hilarious in that movie.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So many people were.
He was perfect for that role.
Oh, God.
He was good in that role. Bill Murray was perfect in the role. Just like those 2 little ancillary characters.
My friends and I, we still do the thing where we pick up the phone and we go, I thought I told you never to call me on this phone. and pulls a phone out of the golf club or the golf bag, and it's like 1980 whatever. So they didn't have phones that did that, and he just pulled a handset out of there and went, "I thought I told you never to call me on this phone." It's just like hilarious. Anyway,
pulls out the beer tab. So what? Let's dance. Okay, Ron has Stripes in his top 10. Stripes is an excellent movie. I agree.
Stripes is good.
It is, and all those early Bill Murray movies. Like I'm actually surprised Ghostbusters didn't make this list.
I just watched that yesterday. That's so funny.
It's hysterical.
It's so good for all of them. You know what I mean? They're just all so good in that. Anyway, go ahead.
So they listed number 2 as Airplane. So no matter what list, go watch Airplane. And number 1 from the people, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Okay. It's not my.
It's
I'm
very
not crazy
quotable.
about that. It's okay, but it's some of it's good. But like I'm never like. It's so I should probably have a Monty Python day, but I just never sit and watch that stuff. I don't know. But
I don't know. I'd have to see when Life of Brian came out. Life of Brian is also a good one, but I don't know what year that came out. But as usual, Lena and myself have done almost 2 hours. So now, according to Ron, Ranker's list is better than Collider, and I think I would agree with that. I actually do think I would agree. So look it up. Go vote. You can vote on Ranker. Go to ranker.com and pick whatever you want. You can vote on that. Go to our websites. Remember, you can find everything on, let's see, RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net. Remember that.
Isn't there a do we have a poll up right now for that, Ron?
We should.
Have a poll on the site? Not for this.
Vote now for the Hall of Fame.
There it is.
Grease, Jaws, Rocky, Saturday Night Fever, or The Godfather. Ooh, that's a top 5.
There it is.
Go to there right now. It says RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net. Lena, do you have anything to plug?
I don't think I do. Other than your podcast, yours and my podcast is coming out very soon. I have been.
Yay!
I with everything that went on, I think it's terrible that I waited so long. But like, I did not expect Dave to die. He's so he's so inconvenient. Like, so in May, I think we did this podcast, and not only that, but we dropped 3 hours. We were just talking for 3 hours, and so most of my what do you call it has been like, what do I keep, what do I not, like, because we really got into everything, and so I want to make sure that it stays on topic, and so I finally did edit it down to something I can work with, and so probably by the end of this weekend I'll have it done. But I'll let you know so you can promote it, and Ron, I'll let you know as well. But finally, Ira and our podcast will come out on my channel, and that's going to be it's actually LenaandDave.com. If you go there, you'll find everything you need. But I took Ira hostage one night for 3 hours, 4 hours of conversation. And
it turns out that we cannot have a short conversation.
I think what I'm going to do is break it up into like our topic, the topic we were there to talk about, and then the other stuff we'll put like I'll put out a separate one that's like an extra with us just telling our stories, because man, we just went on forever. Anyway, that's what I'm plugging. And
you've got mine. I'm on Circling the Drain podcast, or the CTD podcast. You can see the YouTube right there, or you can just plug it into any machine. Circling the Drain podcast, and we're all about trying to make you laugh. So on behalf of Lena and myself, I want to thank you for hanging out with us, for hanging in there, because we go more than an hour. Easy.
I know.
And
oh man,
tomorrow, thank you, Kenny, for joining us from the celebration, the 50th celebration for Jaws. He's going to be on tomorrow, not only with Ron, but with JP. And JP and I went on last week. He made me want to go to Montana. If you go back, listen to it.
I'll go with you.
All the places you can go to.
Let's do a road trip.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right.
But remember, if you need some fun, join us, because we have it going on daily. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.